Hi guys, this is Aegis, and today I bring to you a pro replay, and in this bottom left-hand corner I do have the winner of the latest summer dream hack, LiquidHuK from Team Liquid, of course. He is going to be playing as the red Protoss player. In the other side, I do have KDH. I don't know much about this Zerg player, but he is as the blue Zerg player. This is from the Korean server, so I wonder what kind of special tactics we're going to see from the Korean server. This is KDH, of course, and this is Tal'Darim Altar, so it is a large map, and I believe this was ladder, yeah. So we do have the destructible rocks on hand to block off that third expansion from being gotten all that early. We do have Huck over here building his first pylon up at the front, so he will be walling this off to get a fast nexus. He also does have a probe headed in the right direction to scout out his Zerg opponent. KDH currently just spreading his overlords out a little bit, going to be checking for which position LiquidHuK is going to be in. The drones getting selected, and the gas coming up. Huck is going to be doing some mineral harassment, going to prevent the drones from mining all of the mineral patches as accurately as they should be. It disrupts the worker pairs that we do see here, and Huck is going to continue making those probes. Does look like he may be going for a nexus first. KDH, on the other hand, is bringing a bunch of probes, drones over to mine the extractor, mine the gas over here. And the spawning pool is also on the way, so he is going for that pool gas first, and Huck is going to be throwing down his nexus, so this nexus is a lot faster than KDH has his natural expansion. And in addition to that, KDH is getting that spawning pool, and he will be going for that speed, so Huck does need to look out for some sort of speedling bust type thing. The Forge is currently on the way. LiquidHuK over here continuing to produce those probes. He is saving up quite a bit of chrono boost to be able to, I guess, throw down on his cybernetics core, or maybe he's just forgotten. He does have a probe over here going to be blocking the natural expansion for our Zerg player. So our Zerg player is currently making 4 Zerglings, or 2 pairs of Zerglings, and the Zerglings are going to be coming out here trying to pick off that probe here. 1 Zergling and a drone going to be coming over here. That probe is going to continue its harassment and throwing down a pylon. Looks like those 2 Zerglings are going to have to turn tail, or it's going to take quite an extra long period of time to be able to take the pylon down. Huck may even wait for that pylon to finish and build yet another one, maybe getting a cancel on that first pylon. Cancel goes down on the first pylon, and the second pylon is still going to continue to block off that natural expansion. He has got a cannon up at home, a gateway on the way. The natural expansion is up and producing probes. He is also rallying probes from his main nexus over to his natural expansion. He's got the 2 gas in his main on the way, and a KDH finally gets up his hatchery. This does put him slightly behind where he would normally like to be, so he does have his Zergling starting to nibble away at the 3rd rocks, see if he wants to take that 3rd base a lot earlier. The probe is going to be running in here to try to check to see if any sort of bust is on the way. And it does not get to see much. There is an overlord checking out everything that is going on over here, and cybernetics core is now 25% complete. Huck continuing to produce those probes 2 by 2 in pairs. We've got both gases mining as well, and KDH continuing to nibble away at those destructible rocks, now about half health. The Queen's going to be doing some vomiting action, only drones coming out so far. He does have the natural expansion now finishing up, should be popping real soon. That Queen is also on hand and ready to vomit into that hatchery to get those larva boost up. There is still that overlord in range. There is a sentry now on the way, and the overlord is going to start escaping out of here. And Huck hasn't actually thrown down that much else. He's getting more gas up, so he's mainly focusing on his economy. He's got his 2nd gateway on the way now, almost finished. The rocks have been destroyed, and a hatch is immediately on the way, so that's a very fast 3rd hatch. This does put Zerg a little bit vulnerable to any sort of 6 gate push off of 2 bases. We'll see if HuK decides to do something like that, but he is grabbing the 2 gas over here. We'll see what he decides to do with those 2 extra gases worth of income. He's got 2 pylons spotting in the main. Very well done for HuK. He does have KDH does have a Overlord going to be skirting the edge over here. A couple of Zerglings also spotting up at the front. He does see the Forge producing the ground weapons +1 for the Protoss army. Chrono Boost going down on both of these upgrades right now. Also the Warp Gate upgrade on the way. The Zerg player now getting his lair. That's a pretty quick lair as well. Evolution Chamber also on the way. No gas at the natural expansion. Going to be throwing down the double gas right now. The third expansion is almost complete at about 80%. Zergling's going to be spotting all across the map. There is a Zella on the outside of the wall. The Zergling's going to be trying to deal with him, see if they can get a surround on him, and they do not. Going to be backing up right now to get his wall down so that he can get his units out of this base. Probably going to have to kill off that 1 cannon as well. The Forge is finishing up their weapons level 1, and the Cybernetics Core also does have the Warp Gate research now complete. Also tons of gateways now up for LiquidHuK. He's got 5 more in his main, so we've got 7 gateways in total. It will be a 7 gate plus a 1 weapons push. We'll see if he decides to do that. No, he does not. Looks like we've got a 3rd base going to be coming up real soon. That's a pretty quick 3rd base as well. More sentries getting warped in over here for LiquidHuK. He's got now 7 gateways +1, finishing up, maybe going for that +1 ground armor as well. KDH does have his 3rd expansion now saturated, still producing purely drones, and 9 drones just hatching right now. Zergling's going to be running back and forth over here for now. A bunch of Zealots being warped in. The sentries over here with a couple of Stalkers. KDH can't really do much about this. LiquidHuK is actually climbed way ahead in food, 90 food to 70 food right now, losing 2 food there for some odd reason. KDH throwing down a lot of spine crawlers over here. He is getting his spire up, so we'll probably see a lot of Mutalisks on the way as soon as that spire does finish up. The Zergling's going to be poking in here. There are cannons at the ready. 3rd expansion getting warped in. It is at 25% complete. We've got HuK's units all in the center of the map. Tons of sentries, a couple of Zealots, as well as 2 Stalkers. Zealots over here trying to deal with a couple of Zerglings. It does not want to get surrounded. Zerglings just sort of dancing back and forth. The Zerglings do not also want to get cut off by any means. The spine crawler count is increasing drastically. We've got the spine crawlers over here going to try to poke away at this army, and HuK is going to advance in here. Force fields all going down. The Zealots are going to be advancing forward. Force fields behind to prevent the Zerglings from running up behind. Zealots are charging in, going to be doing tons of damage to those spine crawlers. Spine crawlers all going down. Couple of spine crawlers over here trying to get rerouted. HuK does have plenty of force fields to be able to continue walling this off. A couple of sentries over there getting picked off. Looks like this army is going to be able to advance into the natural expansion without a problem. Now the Mutalisks finally arrive. More Zerglings in production, and we got a little pause over there. Looks like the Zealots over here going to be cleaning up a lot of those Zerglings, but the sentries getting wiped out by the Mutalisks, and all the Zealots do get taken out. HuK has lost quite a large chunk of his army, but he does have cannons all in position for those Mutalisks. We've got more cannons coming up over here, pylons and cannons coming up in the back. Looks like he will be safe from any sort of mild Mutalisk harassment. We've also got the Stalkers out in the field, a Twilight Council on the way as well to be able to get that Blink upgrade. HuK over here does have a probe sort of sitting idle. We've got the Zerglings trying to poke in here to the 3rd expansion, maybe try to do some damage. HuK is now trying to get that saturated. Both players generally even in food. Zerg just a few food ahead. The Mutalisks sort of milling around trying to figure out what to do. There's 6 Mutalisks over here. 3 more about to join the pack. We've got Zerg flyer attacks level 1 on the way as well. We've got a Chrono Boosted down on the +1 ground armor. The Blink is on the way as well. An Overseer is going to be checking out what's going on inside HuK's base. Is going to be gunking up a couple of these warp gates with its Contaminate ability. The Mutalisks are going to fly into a couple of cannons if they do decide to attack in here. Looks like that cannon is in range. Will do some damage to that Mutalisk. Looks like these Mutalisks will not be able to do too much damage here, as the Stalkers are now coming over here to be able to clean that up if they do decide to stay. There is a Templar Archives, so sort of out of range of these two cannons. Needs to get those Stalkers over there. Looks like the Blink is being utilized. Is not going to be able to blink on the onto the high ground for some time because of that cooldown. We've got the Zerg player still sitting on his 3 bases, more Mutalisks getting produces. This is going to be quite a frightening cloud of Mutalisks if HuK keeps letting this Muto count build. Our Zerg player may even decide to take a 4th base right now. 2 Zealots going to be coming in here, not too sure what they're up to. The Stalker is trying to ward away those Mutalisks, the Zerglings taking control of the map. The more flying units going to be joining the field real soon. We've got the 4th hatch getting started by KDH, so he will be trying to secure a few more expansions while HuK stays huddled in his base to try to prevent those Mutalisks from doing too much economic damage. More cannons coming up for HuK, and the Mutalisks are going to be flying in here. Maybe take a pylon out in this corner. There are now 13 Mutalisks in the air. They're going to be coming over here. There's 2 cannons protecting these warp gates. Looks like those 2 cannons will be going down, and this one pylon that is powering those could actually go down. Well, nice storm on those Mutalisks, going to bring them down to yellow health. But they are going to be picking off a couple of buildings here and there. That observer does get taken out while it's still in production. Cannons over here. There is a Stormer available. Does he storm? No, he does not. The Mutalisks do take some damage from the cannons as they fly by. We also have our Zerg player spreading out his overlords all over the map. HuK now taking his 4th base, as well as Archons on the way. HuK is a lot of cannons everywhere. It does deny the Mutalisks any chance to harass. There is a Stalker over here going to try to pick off that Overseer, maybe trying to secure a 5th base in this corner. HuK is letting his money fly sky high. All of these Mutalisks are going to be coming over here and picking off that one Stalker. It does blink back into the main. The Mutalisks flying in here, going to do some damage to these warp gates. The Stalker is going to be blinking back in here to try to do some warding off action. There's not enough Stalkers maybe to fend off all of these Mutalisks, but it does actually know there is plenty of Stalkers available. Blink getting used to be able to send those guys flying right away. 2 more Mutalisks in production, 8 more drones as well, more Spine Crawlers. I'd like to see KDH maybe take another base while he keeps HuK contained. These Mutalisks, I don't think they have actually spotted. They have spotted this expansion. I wonder why he's not harassing that one directly, rather than just kind of flying around over there. We've got the 4th base coming up, bunch of Spine Crawlers. Maybe try to take a 5th base in this corner. And here comes the harassment. There's only 2 Stalkers over here, but the cannons have all warped in. This expansion will be protected. The Stalkers blinking in, trying to do some damage. Looks like those Mutalisks will be able to get away, maybe get onto the high ground and do some damage over there. Looks like the cannons will be enough to ward these guys away. The Stalkers are now here and able to deal with those Mutalisks, and one more Mutalisk does go down. KDH is actually behind in food. That's very peculiar, especially because HuK does not have as many bases. Or, well, he's on even base, but he did get that one up later. He even has tons of cannons everywhere. And that's a lot of money to put in cannons. So I'm confused as to why KDH isn't much more ahead than he is now. His army is rather small, and HuK has a much larger army. Looks like a queen got splattered over there. The Zergling's going to be advancing forward, and the Zealots are also sort of in position. The High Templar are also joining in here. Plenty of storm energy available for those Zerglings, going to be able to clean that up very easily. KDH is on a very bad composition, actually. Huck is going to be able to cancel that pylon pretty quickly. Is going to be chilling at this Xel'Naga tower for the moment, taking a 5th base. KDH is actually now behind on expansions, so this is, I would say, pretty poor play coming out of our Zerg player over here. So there's a Zealot going to get picked off over here. But Huck has plenty of army units. He has also a little bit of map control, also ability to take yet another base. He's got this base saturated. He does have 2 Templar here, 3 actually there's 4 Templar here ready to storm this base. Coming up, going to be throwing down a ton of cannons as well. More Templar getting warped in. Our Zerg player getting additional Zerglings out onto the field. He does have the adrenal glands as well as a ground carapace level 2. The melee attacks level 2 on the way as well. LiquidHuK positioning his army over here. Looks like the Stalkers will be able to shoo away the Mutalisks. The Storm's all going down. The Mutalisks getting really weakened over here. All of them in the orange. The Blink getting used. An Archon getting warped in. The Storms are great. Going to be taking down all of those Zerglings as well as all of the Mutalisks. Here comes the Stalkers chasing after those units. Going to be no doubt going for this expansion. Going to be cleaning that up. Finally, a 5th base on the way for KDH. But LiquidHuK is max at 199 food. And he's got the perfect army to deal with what's going on over here. We've got the Blink Stalkers as well as the Zealots and Archons. Also the High Templar for the Storm. Going to be charging in here. Going to be taking out all of these Spine Crawlers and this expansion as well. The Archon is going to be moving in here as well. Stormer will be able to clean up a ton of these drones very quickly. All of those drones getting wiped out. The Zealots also coming in here. Blink getting used. The Mutalisks unable to do much. 24 Zerglings in the production queue. But KDH is losing the battle. He's lost the war. There's not much he can actually do to come back in this. He is nice. He's an impressive Spinecrawler wall, but that is an immobile defense. Huck can easily starve him of all the resources. We've got these Zerglings and the Mutalisks coming in here. GG calls KDH. I guess that would be GG in Korean. And Huck does take this game very easily. He was basically ahead for the entire game. The Mutalisks unable to do much. And this is Aegis signing off.